Joining us now is Thomas Loster. He is the chairman of the Munich Re Foundation, also a keynote speaker at this conference. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Loster. What will you be addressing specifically in your keynote address?
I'll be speaking about resilience building. I come from the foundation of a reinsurance company, and we are working on risks since decades. Since 1973, we research disasters, and Munich Re, a leading reinsurance company, put up a foundation in order to build resilience in the poor world.
Before we go there and talk a little bit about resilience, talk a little bit about your company's connection to Hurricane Sandy.
Munich Re will pay out a lot of money. The claims are so huge. Sandy cost 25 billion US dollar to the insurance industry, and my company might pay a few $100 million US dollar. So this is the money we talk about.
So let's go back to resilience. A lot of people are talking about this term at this conference. What does it mean to you to give communities the ability to be more resilient?
Yeah, I think we see that disasters are increasing, the frequency is increasing, and the loss magnitude is increasing. We lose so many lives every year, and we need to do something. On the one hand side, we need political work, frameworks, regulation to set the scene, but we also need to work with the people at risk. We must include them. We must understand what they need and what they can do and what they cannot do in order to build resilience in the community.
What are some of the lessons you're learning on the ground, say in Mozambique?
First of all, we need to include people at risk. We need to create awareness. I would say risk awareness is the key. So what we do usually is we train evacuations. We have exercises before the rainy season starts, and this creates a lot of awareness and momentum. And when the rainy season starts, people are knowing there might be a flood, and those are prepared to react, and they are even happy to react because they have just learned it.
And is there also information about, and by the way, if you build here, this is what we foresee could happen to this community? This
is what we do. We ask them why they want to live there, of course, because of tradition, but we teach them that there are better places to live aside of the river. And finally, we tell them they need to move if they don't build resilience. And this is a very strong signal. This is why what also creates momentum for them to work and to build up task forces and flood committees.
You know, I think most Americans don't imagine that a disaster on the other side of the world has a financial impact on them, but your company shows it does.
It has, and of course we live in a globalized world, and if we forget about the poor world, they will knock at our doors in the near future. So we must now show solidarity, build resilience around the globe in order to better cope with these increasing disasters we tend to see nowadays.
Is this something that can be kind of directed by governmental organizations, by the UN, or do you feel like private groups, nonprofit groups like yours need to step in? And how do you connect all of these different organizations that want to do what you're doing?
On the one hand side, we have the frameworks from the UN or governments, but we will only come to a sustainable solution if we work in partnerships, and this means a partnership of the government, of the people at risk, and the private sector. If we don't work together and share our knowledge and our efficiencies, we will not succeed. So partnership, I would say, public-private partnerships is the key issue here.
Is there any other point you'll be conveying to the crowd of more than 1,000 gathered to hear you today?
I would say that we should really look into social vulnerability if we want to build up resilience, and we should not think that we know what is good for the world. We should talk with the people and better understand what they need, and then we can create tailor-made solutions that might be sustainable and might create a better world.
Sounds like a democratic way of finding out what their greatest needs are. Thomas Loster, thank you very much for joining us.
Welcome. Thank you.